I am Nick Zarrow, the marketing coordinator with the Doug Tucker Real Estate team, and I'm back again with Doug. How are you, Doug?
I'm doing great, Nick. How are you?
Not too bad. Basically, the question today we have is, how is the market doing? Are we still hot in October?
Great question. Same question I get asked almost on a daily basis by multiple people. And the good news is that, yeah, the market is still really hot. We're now here in the first week of October. We can now look back at September and look at how the market performed throughout September. We're looking at it right now just as a snapshot across all of Morris County. And what you'll see is that buyer sales reported in September of 2020 were up by 50%. That's a huge increase. You don't see any bigger numbers than that. So it shows you that the buyer side of the market is still super hot and the numbers are way up. The other side of the equation always is the seller side of the market, the supply side of the market. And it's really the combination of the two sides that determine whether a market's getting better or worse, supply and demand. Buyer being the demand side, new listings coming to market being the supply side of the market. So we did see a 25% increase in the number of new listings in 2020 for the month of September as compared to September of 2019. So we're starting to see those two numbers start to converge a bit. I still think it'll be some time before the listing side of the market catches up to the buying side of the market. But we are definitely starting to see more sellers taking advantage of the opportunity to sell in a really hot market, right? So each week, more and more people are choosing to sell. But still, buyers significantly outpacing the number of sellers, making for a great market and increasing prices, though that does not carry across all price ranges and all sectors. It does, though, carry across most. So yeah, really good market.
Awesome. Well, Doug, I know you have a unique approach to buying and selling. So now that our viewers kind of have a little bit of an update of where the market's at, can you tell us a little bit about how your approach would benefit a buyer or seller in today's market?
Sure. I'd love to talk about our team model. Something that I started over 20 years ago. You'll see a lot of agents in the marketplace today calling themselves a team. One of the things I will say about a team model is it's very hard to run. It takes a long time to perfect it and to have it turn into what we call a functional team. And a functional team model will always outperform a single agent, just will. It's based on basically ability and time. One person cannot do all things well, right? They're good at some things, not good at other things. When you use a team, you're using a group of specialists that are good at that part of the transaction that they're specializing in, right? So you overcome the inefficiencies of a single agent not being good at all things by running a team model. But that's only part of the equation. The other part of the equation is time, right? So you have agents that are successful, they're super busy. What do they not have? Time, right? So they can be really good at what they do, but if they don't have time for you, what good is it, right? You need somebody who has both the ability and the time. And by running a team model, we do that. So what I do is I partner with an agent. I work as a seller agent specialist, and my partner works as a buyer agent specialist, right? That's the other distinction that I didn't talk about, which is most agents are one or the other. They're not both. They're either really good at working with buyers and not so good working with sellers, or really good working with sellers and not so good working with buyers. So if you are doing both buying and selling and you're using a single agent, they're probably doing one part of the transaction well and another part of the transaction not so well. Why have part when you can have it all? You know what I mean? And that's really what the team model is in its simplest form. It is a team approach that allows agents to just do the part of the transaction that they do really well. Have an agent who really specializes in the seller side, another agent who really specializes on the buyer side, and then surrounded by a support staff that allows them to do a lot of other things that most agents either can't do because they don't know how to do it, or do it but don't do it well because they're not good at it, Um, and it just puts it all together. So bottom line is what I'm doing today. I've been in business now 32 years. So I provide clients with more services and better services at a lower cost than I did in the past, right? And it's all through the efficiencies of a team model. And then over the top of that, we run different buyer and seller plans, right? So we have a specific seller plan as an example of how to take advantage of the current market conditions that exist to an auction-like approach that puts every buyer in competition with every other buyer for a seller's home, causing the house to sell in less time and for more money, creating more competition, competing bids, higher selling prices. So it's the combination really of those things, having a team model that outperforms a single agent model and a specific selling and buying roadmap or plan that takes better advantage over current market conditions, and we're able to do it all. So what I would say, I mean, I could talk about this for hours, quite frankly. I've been developing the concept now for 20 years and improving on it, tweaking it, improving on it. And I think we have the most functional team system that exists out there. I also believe we may be the first real estate team to exist in the state of New Jersey. 20 years ago, nobody was running a team model. At the time, we were the only team in the marketplace. Now you see lots of them. And then the other component of that, though, is be aware of non-functional teams, because they will not improve on the services. Sometimes they'll only make it worse. So you want a team, but you want to make sure that you have a functional team. You know, one that's been running for a long time with a lot of experience. They've worked everything out, and it's very systematic. So if you're out there and you're thinking about buying and selling without going on forever about this, we'd love to have the opportunity to meet with you in person and answer your questions, talk to you more about what we do and how you'd benefit.
Well, thank you very much, Doug. And of course, if anybody has any interest in just speaking about the market or finding out about the unique buying and selling approaches that we have, then we'd love to speak about that as well.
Yeah, and so I think that's about it for now. I think we've given people enough to think about, and we'd love to talk to you more about it if you have a need.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Doug.
All right. Catch you next time, Nick.